everyone, welcome to It's All About You, a program that keeps you connected to all the exciting events, services, and businesses the city of Urbana has to offer. I'm your host, Bridget Broihahn. On today's show, we'll check out what the city's Public Works Department is up to this spring. Also, did you know you can grow fresh food inside a shipping container? It's happening right here in Urbana. Today, we'll also visit with two officers from the Urbana Police Department, and just wait till you see who they are. But first, we're going to learn all about Urbana's urban forest with City Arborist Mike Brunk. Hey everybody in the city of Urbana, guess what? Here's Mike Brunk. He's the City Arborist for our fair city, and it's a great, big, exciting week for you. See, we're all about restoring our urban canopy, our urban forest, which helps us live better.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the urban forest here lately, especially in the Midwest, we've been hit hard. EAB, the emerald ash borer, has devastated a lot of our trees. Now, in Urbana, we've been planning on EAB coming into our community for quite a number of years, and we've been working to reduce our emerald ash borer problem over the long haul. But that's not the only thing that's kind of attacking our forest, if you will. Age. We have a lot of trees in the 50 to 60 to 70 age group, and when you have a lot of trees in that age group, they all kind of decline at the same time. So, you know, because of the Dutch elm disease, we were better prepared for the emerald ash borer, but also because of the Dutch elm disease in the 40s and 50s, we have a lot of trees that were planted in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, they're all around the same age.
Yeah, so they're all around the same age. They're all kind of peaking at their age right now, and they're getting a little deadwood here and there. So we're out there heavily pruning. We're removing quite a few trees because of that problem and the emerald ash borer. So guess what we're doing?
Trying to restore the urban forest. You know, it's almost like we should have been planting all along.
That's right. We average, that's very interesting. We average about, on a regular year, about 100 tree removals a year. And really, what I recommend is we should be planting 2 to 3 times that every year. Just because of the mortality of urban trees. To keep the urban forest increasing a little bit every year. So we're prepared for these big devastations. So now we've been floating about even, so we're planting about 1.5 trees, 1 to 1.5 trees for every one we removed. Well, now we're really pushing to plant that 2 to 3 trees per every one removed.
No kidding. See, and the interesting thing is Urbana is one of the charter members of, what was it again, because I didn't have it right earlier.
It's the National Arbor Day Foundation's Tree City USA program.
Yeah, so we're one of, I don't know if you guys know this because I grew up in Urbana and I didn't know it, but we're one of the charter members of that distinguished group. And it's interesting to me that even as great as our city is, we still have challenges with trees. And so I'm thinking that maybe you could help regular citizens like me understand what are some things we could do.
Yes, exactly. Now, so tax dollars only go so far, and our funds are set every year, and we've had a pretty good solid fund of tree planting. But you know what we do in Urbana that's a little different than some communities is?
What's that?
We have a cooperative tree planting program, so we look to the citizens to help out. And so we try to stretch our tax dollars by having extra support from citizens that are interested. So it's called the Urbana Cooperative Tree Planting Program, and if citizens are interested in providing us assistance in planting trees throughout the community, they can select 1 or 50. And so we have a $125 per tree fee, and there are organizations that participate in that program, Urbana Rotary being one of them. And in fact, this year we had a couple citizens, interested citizens, team up with Urbana Rotary, and they are assisting us with 85 additional trees for planting this spring.
That's awesome.
So that is one way we're trying to bump the numbers up to get our forest.
You know what I was thinking too? Like, you know, this would be a neat thing to do for somebody for a gift. Like, you could maybe buy a tree in your mother's honor or something for her birthday, or you know what I mean? It would be really nice. What a great way to give back to your own environment and make someone really happy too.
You know, the cool thing about it is this community the way we leave this community is a legacy for our children behind us. So
that's right.
We can leave our own legacy for Urbana, for those to come, by planting trees. And I think that's really cool.
I do too, and I know the citizens of Urbana are so into this because I grew up here and I remember doing things like this all along my life. Planting trees, making sure things were going well in the parks and all the beautiful places we have. So if you're interested in this, what do we just contact the city, contact you?
Sure, just contact Public Works. We are going to get a tree co-op application online here sometime soon, but right now you can just call the Urbana Public Works Department and ask for Mike Brunk, the Urbana City Arborist, or you can email me at mjbrunk@urbanaillinois.us.
Hello everybody, we're back and right now we're with two members of our police force. First of all, we have Officer Sarah Links, and she is partnered with Axel, our K-9 cop. So Sarah, what can you tell me about, this is a beautiful dog, but this isn't just a dog, this is a member of our police force.
This is a police officer.
Exactly.
This is not a pet. This is a police officer.
So how did we go about getting an animal like this? I mean, did you just go on over to one of the rural parts of Illinois, or?
No, actually, we contact a trainer who specializes in training these dogs. Mm-hmm. He's actually out of Tilton, which is south of Danville. And then based on what the department wants, based on what we're looking for, then he starts his search. His search, Axel was born in Hungary, so he was kenneled, born in Europe. He actually gets sent over to Pennsylvania, and then Tony Pyatt went to Pennsylvania based on what the department wanted and picked Axel up.
So, you guys, most dogs understand commands. In fact, my own dog understands about 60 words. But ironically, Axel does not speak or understand English. He
speaks German.
German.
And that is to, one, so that not everybody can give him commands.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Like you're out and about and he would hear multiple people saying a word you might use as a command.
Yes.
That makes total sense to me.
He's eating leaves right now. He's cleaning up.
So how old is he?
He is going to be 2. Axel, here.
He's such a good boy.
Here, Foos. Foos.
So how long have you been with him? And also, does he stay here? Does he come home with you?
He lives at home with me. He has an outdoor kennel, and he stays in that. If it's super cold, he comes inside and sleeps in a crate, but I have other dogs, so he doesn't really interact with them. He's just too much puppy.
Yeah. So, okay, now let's say you guys are out and about and you see Officer Links and Axel. I mean,
we don't have people run up and pet him.
Yeah.
Because it looks aggressive towards me.
See.
And that, and it's that's with any dog. That's not just a police dog. That's just with any dog.
So although we love you, Axel, we hope that you wouldn't just come up and rush. You could certainly talk to Officer Links and maybe she could tell you some things, and like he let me pet him and he loves it.
He does
love it. Look
it.
at how cute he is. But I mean, he's also an officer, so you have to have reverence like you would for any police officer.
Yes.
Did you want to show us some exercises?
Well, one thing he's trained to do is look for things, things that might be used in a burglary, things that might be lost. So I give him his command: article, article, article. And when he finds something that has odor on it, he will let me know it's there. Oh, he found my keys for me, which is fantastic.
That is fantastic.
I know. You should train every dog to do that.
Good boy. That's awesome.
So he can, and it's based on human odor. So it could be a gun, it could be a wallet, something used in a burglary. He also can find people.
Oh, that's
wonderful. Whether it's that child that wandered away. The sad thing is he's so big that, he actually will crouch down, so he does not look dangerous to that child, or he doesn't look threatening. He can find the Alzheimer's patient that's wandered away.
Oh,
he can track
nice.
a bank robber. And he follows the human odor, and he also follows basically the footsteps. He can detect that little bit of disturbance in the ground and in the grass that you leave.
Amazing. That is amazing.
He's also used in detection of drugs. And he can, like I said, he can track, he does articles.
Hi.
He gets me out and exercises me.
Well, it looks like you guys have a great relationship.
Yes.
You know, officers have to trust each other, and it looks like there's great trust.
This is my partner. Yep. Stand still. Hands up. Let's. He also has obedience. Your fuss. Ah, fuss. 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 Platz. Yep. Platz. Brick. Oh, that's nice, boy.
Oh, good boy.
So, he does a lot of things, and he's
beautiful.
He's fantastic. You know, I've been here 12 years, and I got him in October, and it elevates what you do to a different level.
I imagine.
You know, he's people know him, people see him, people are always interested.
Sure.
But you know, the biggest thing is he's a police officer. You know, I mean, and you see this dog, but he is a police officer. You know, he has a purpose, he has a job, he earns his keep.
Well, you're both like real life superheroes to me, and I want to thank you both for your service and helping us in our city.
Well, thank you so much for having us, because it's nice to get him out. It's also nice for people to see the human. There is a human side to what we do, and there's a human side to who we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we thank you very much. Hey Urbana, it's Bridget back here at the city's Public Works building. We thought we'd drop in. There's always something cool going on over here. And so here we are with Vicki Rusher. And what's your position here, Vicki?
Tool room attendant / parts person.
Now, okay, all you people out there like me who rather would go to Lowe's on the weekend or someplace like that where you can buy some tools, this kind of woman to me has a dream job. So tell me what you do.
I check out tools on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Where we write down each tool that the street maintenance workers borrow for the day, and then when they bring it back, I got to make sure they bring it back the end of the day or whenever.
So they know not to just come in here and take a tool.
Correct.
They've got to find
Correct. It all has to be monitored in order to keep the items in here.
Because tools are expensive,
yes,
you know?
Are.
I mean,
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, what else goes on over here?
Another part of my job is upstairs we've got a stock of small vehicle parts, mainly filters and just small electrical and all that, that our mechanics use on our vehicles. And anytime they use a part out of the stock, they write it down on their sheets, and then once a week I collect their sheets and reorder everything that they have used.
Okay, now since you work for Public Works and things are coming up, you know, like potholes, mowing has to happen, or even when first snow and we have to get out and salt. I mean, does that kind of increase the pressure on you too for your job?
No, the parts probably sew a little bit more because we run, I don't know, 6 or 7 different dump trucks, and they're running many hours, you know, a day, and they'll break down. And yeah, there's times I'm asked to get on the phone and get a part ordered or something. Yeah.
So it sounds like, sorry to make it sound so silly, but it sounds like you have run a well-oiled machine here. I mean, tell us, what are these things? I mean, what is this yellow machine right there? What is that?
This is a plate compactor.
What does that do?
So let's say the street workers are going to go out and lay new concrete.
Yeah.
And before they do so, they have to compact that soil, that rock that they put down first. This is heavy and it has vibration and it compacts.
And it makes it level and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and what about the one right next to it, that red thing?
Generators.
Oh, Oh yeah, generator.
So there are some hand tools that we have that are not battery operated. They might need electricity or whatever, and they use those. And in case of emergencies, we have generators as the backups.
So do you check these out too?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What else? Okay, so what is the one thing you think that citizens of Urbana don't realize about public works? Is there anything that, like, hey, did you realize da 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 da?
The one thing I thought when I first started working here as a seasonal employee, I started on the sewer crew.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely amazed at how quick the city responds to issues, to residents' issues.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. And they do that. They continually, I've been here, just started my 20th year, and they do. That's the one thing I think is most precious about the city, is how they do definitely take care of their citizens.
Yeah, I grew up here. I remember things like that. I remember them coming and, like, somebody needed something moved. They knew they could call them, and the guys would come out on the way to something else. That's pretty cool. That's kind of how we are here, though, you know?
Yep.
Well, we thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hi, it's Bridget again from the City of Urbana, and we are here with John Rollins. He is an amazing guy. He's taken on this whole awesome operation, and right now we're actually in a
hydroponic farm.
It's a hydroponic farm. It's actually a farm. It's an urban farm. You can put it anywhere. So, you know, Urbana's cool. We've got the cool urban farm going on. So we're going to let John tell us how he came to get this great, awesome thing and what we're doing here and what he does. So tell us how you came to have this.
Okay, Bridget. Well, first of all, thanks for coming out. Thanks for
awesome.
featuring us.
It smells good in here like a salad, you guys. It's awesome.
And we're just getting started with this too. This particular crop is right at the very beginning. We're only about a week into this. You can't grow stuff in the dead of winter in the state of Illinois. So what happened was when I found out from one of our Produce Alliance members about this startup in Boston, the Freight Farm is what it's called, reached out to him. What are you doing over there? And he said, well, this amazing technology, and it's sort of plug and play. You know, these are freight containers that you see on the back of ships all the time.
Really?
Yeah. They take these things.
Cool.
They're at the end of their shelf life, basically, and they buy these things, and then everything that you see in here, all this technology, is delivered on the back of a semi-trailer. So we actually brought a semi from Boston with this on the back of it, brought in a 40-foot crane, dropped it on a concrete pad, plugged the power into it, take an ordinary garden hose from the building next door and fill it up with water.
That's amazing.
Yeah, add a few nutrients, and away we go as far as starting to grow stuff. And we're not affected by the elements, so we're growing 52 weeks a year. We're harvesting on a weekly basis, and everything that we're growing in here, we're taking it over to the University of Illinois. They're taking these lettuces that we're growing for them, and that's what we're doing, a power blend of 8 or 9 amazing, flavorful lettuces, and they're mixing it in with some conventional lettuces and creating an Illini blend. And that's what the students are eating over there. And once again, the flavor profiles are amazing. So, you know, if you grow something in California and they harvest it there and they'll cool it and they'll package it, then it's 4 or 5 days later.
Right.
It gets to us here. You know, we're actually harvesting, and the very next day, those lettuces are at the U of I. And so everything starts in the seedling tanks. So we're actually at the very beginning of a crop right now. It's an eight week process from start to finish. Conventional lettuces generally take about 3 months. We get things done in about 8 weeks. We recently, about once a year, we go through and do a deep clean, and we sort of start over. So that's the process we're at now. We'll be inviting you back in a few weeks, and you'll have an opportunity to see the farm full of product and actual some harvesting. So, but you're at the very ground floor. So right here are what is referred to as seedling tanks, and they slide.
Like little babies.
Yep, right in here. I don't know if you can see that. So this is just about 1 week into it. We plant the seeds in this, it's almost like dirt. They're little plugs, basically. Let's see if I can pull one up.
What kind of lettuce is this?
Well, there's 8 or 9 different lettuces that we're planting,
Okay.
and we're doing them all in a row, if you will, like all different ones. And it could be sorrel or kales or Swiss chards. It's incredible. You look at what this looks like right now. Once again, 8 weeks from now, when you come back and you see the harvest, the colors are just absolutely amazing. But basically,
Really awesome.
these little trays fit in these metal containers. Water is flooded underneath here, and of course you can see the lights right now, and those are red and blue. That's the color spectrum that lettuces grow toward.
Okay.
And we'll show you here in a little bit back in the towers. So these will stay for 4 weeks. They'll grow up, they'll get up to the point where we take these off, and they'll get about that high. And at that point, we take the little seedlings, and we come over here. We'll transplant these seedlings into these towers. There's hardly anything here that has waste, if you will. I mean, it's the plants that we grow and we take over to the UI, we take in recycled packaging. But basically what happens is this material right here is pulled out of the channel.
Yeah.
It opens up. We put in what this is called a wicking strip. The little plug is then placed right into here, gets folded up, and it sticks out of the channel.
Right.
Okay? Then the channel itself gets hung right here. Now, the whole process is, if you can see right here, there's a little nodule there. Water is pumped from the holding tanks at the back of the farm down through these tubes, comes down through here, and then the water will actually come down through this media here from top to bottom, gets recycled to the back, and over and over and over again. So that's how the plants are getting water. So we have different sensors which look at the pH levels. There's no chemicals or anything. All we're doing is water, some nutrients. We're using organic seed, and then the water. And so that's the hydroponics. We can't be called organic because organic is only stuff planted in the grounds. Okay, it has to be in the ground. But you know, for all intents and purposes, everything we're trying to do is in organic nature. Okay. So what happens is these same lights that we see underneath here right now that are growing the seedlings, right here in between these two channels is a strip. And once again, you think about LED lights were created right here at the University of Illinois, which is sort of cool. So these LED lights, and we'll turn these on in just a second, are what, once the plants are in here, they'll grow toward these lights. So 4 weeks in the seedling tanks, 4 weeks in the towers, full-size plant, okay? And I don't know if you can see, there's 4 rows of towers here.
Yeah.
So, you know, what'll happen is week 1, or 4 weeks here, then we'll put a group in, then we'll put another group in a week later, another group a week later, another group a week later. So that way every week we're basically harvesting a tower and then putting new seedlings back in it. So we can have continuous harvesting every week out of the year. And once again, you have different pH levels here. So like, we see pH up and pH down. So if the sensor determines that the plants need a little bit higher pH, it'll inject a little bit of the pH substance into the water and bring the pH level up. If it needs to be lower, that's fine. We're actually working with the University of Illinois to look at a pathogen sensor, something that we can detect pathogens in the water in advance of it getting into the plants. We had a situation earlier where our plants weren't looking real good. And we were like trying to figure out like what the heck, is going on here. We're talking to the freight farm people and they're like, well, it might be this, it might be that. We actually took some of our plants over to the U of I, to the Ag Extension. They put them on the microscope. They were able to tell us what was going on and what we needed to do in order to help the health of the plants. So this is really a collaboration. What our goal is to work with the U of I to provide them obviously great healthy products for their students that are grown right here locally 52 weeks out of the year. but also at the same time, the U of I is committed to us to try and learn how to generate the most product we can at the most cost-effective way possible. So originally, as an example, we were actually doing a 7-week grow cycle. You can actually do this in 7 weeks, but we've actually recently added a week in the seedling tank, adding some additional trays, and we're going to an 8-week cycle to try and grow out the heads a little bit more, get a little bit more weight to them, be a little bit more cost effective. We're about 68 degrees. That's the optimum temperature as far as growing. But what's really interesting about this is there is not a heater in this container. So in the dead of winter, when it's 30 below zero, we're actually running an air conditioning unit and taking heat out of this container. It is so well insulated. And you're like, well, where's the heat come from? Well, the heat actually comes from the LED lights. Here's what's really cool. And once again, coming back in 8 weeks, what you're going to see plants, full heads of lettuces, beautiful colors. They're growing right toward these LED strips, the reds and the blues. As you can see, I can sit there and hold these and there's not a problem. But these lights are on 16 to 18 hours a day, and they generate enough heat. And by the way, here we go. You can see right now too. So here's the water we were just talking about before going down, that goes down through the media. So I have this tube out so you can see it dripping down here. The water is going into all these separate channels right now, running down through this membrane that we looked through before. And if there was a seedling in there, it would be feeding the roots of that seedling with water and getting it the nutrients it needs. And there's the light it's going to grow to. So, but just these lights being on will warm this container to 68 degrees in the dead of winter. It's absolutely amazing. We're always running a air conditioning unit. We don't have a heater at all. And then right down there at the very, very back, down the middle, that's where we put the water in. It's just a holding container basically. And the water just recycles through, and we fill up the farm with water about once a week. When you have a flat piece of ground and you have a 1-by-1 square foot section of ground, you might be able to get 1 or 2 heads of lettuce in that space. Well, if you look at these channels, you can take about 4 of these, you take 2 and put them up against 2, you can have 4 channels within that same 1 foot square, okay? And then we're growing lettuces all the way up and down those channels. So think about how many heads of lettuce we can have in the same amount of square footage. This is a small part of what we do. The main part of our business is Central Illinois Produce. Central Illinois Produce, which has a warehouse here, another warehouse over in Danville, Illinois. Right. We have a spice company on site, dried spice company.
Oh man, can we see it?
Absolutely, we'll take you through that. We have a bakery as well, an artisan bakery. So, all combined, we're a little over 100 employees right now. We're running, I think, about 25, 26 trucks all over Central Illinois, Central Indiana, down south. We're a very vibrant part of the community. We're active in the community. Yeah. And we love the partnership that we have with the City of Urbana. It's been very, very good.